Hello and welcome to the CanyonChasers Garage. Today we're going to be talking about setting up your motorcycle for you. Most people are not aware that there's a lot of little adjustments you can make to your motorcycle to position the hand controls and the foot controls exactly where you need them. Today we're going to be using our trusty Ducati Super Sport, but the adjustments are going to be basically the same for almost any motorcycle. So let's begin. Let's start off with our hand controls, our clutch lever and our brake lever. They're going to adjust basically the same way. What we're looking for is that when we're sitting on our motorcycle in a very comfortable position, our hands on the handlebars, we more or less want a straight line from our elbow to our fingers with the lever barely touching the bottom of our hand when we're in a very natural, comfortable position. We don't want to be reaching up for the lever or reaching down for the lever. We want the lever to be right where our hand wants to be. Now, in order to get the lever where we want it, we're going to have to rotate it on the handlebar. Depending on your motorcycle, you're going to find two screws on this little clamshell that wraps around the handlebar. They may be an Allen wrench or an Allen head in the case of this bike, or it may be like an 8mm bolt or something of that nature. But in any case, we're going to want to loosen these two screws and rotate the lever to the position we want it to be in. If your motorcycle has tube handlebars, you can also rotate the handlebar to put it in a position that's comfortable for you by loosening these four pinch bolts and allowing the handlebar to move and then tightening them back up again. The important thing to remember when you're tightening these little clamshells or these little pinch bolts back down is that you want to tighten both bolts at the same rate. You don't want to tighten one and then the other because you'll end up with a binding situation going on. So tighten both bolts about a turn at a time or half a turn at a time until you get them to the proper torque specification. Now that torque spec may vary depending on your motorcycle, but typically a good rule of thumb is about 8 foot-pounds. You're not putting gorilla force behind these things, just 8 foot-pounds, which is more or less snug. When we adjust our shift lever and our brake pedal, again, we're going to go for a position that's very natural. It's where our foot wants to be. The best way to do this is to sit on the motorcycle and wear the boots that you ride in, because it's going to be different depending on what shoes you're wearing. But what we're looking for is a very neutral, natural position that allows us to get above the lever and get underneath the lever very quickly and naturally. With the shift lever, there's two places to set how high or how low the lever sits. The first is a course adjustment, and we do this with this short arm that attaches to the splines that go into the motor. We first will take out this little bolt that goes through here all the way and slide the arm off and put it in a different position on the splines. And that'll give us a really coarse adjustment as to how high or how low the shift lever is. When you can't get it any closer with that, what we do is we loosen these nuts on either end of this bar, and when we rotate this bar, it'll give us a really fine adjustment to where exactly this lever sits. So we can get very precise and put this lever exactly where we want it to be. The rear brake pedal is the same thing. We want the lever to be exactly where our foot sits naturally. And we adjust this typically with a short little bar that goes into the rear brake master cylinder. And if you look really closely, there's a little nut and threads on this little bar here. We loosen these with typically a 10mm wrench, and we set the height of our rear brake pedal to where we want it to be. Well, there's the basics on how to set up a motorcycle for you. The most important part is to not be afraid to pull out the wrenches and spanners. Most motorcycle toolkits come with the size of wrenches you need to make these adjustments, to put the levers where they need to be for you and your biomechanics and your body shape. These are important controls, and they need to be someplace where you can get to them quickly and naturally, so you're not looking for your front brake lever when that scary situation occurs. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out CanyonChasers.net for more videos, product reviews, travel logs, and much more.